Where are folks coming from today? Anyone coming from the West End, Brampton? Okay, all right, one. Saga, okay, you got out west. Okay, anyone coming from the east side? No. I'm ready, y'all. Just cut to me and we're good. All right, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, I am so excited to be here. Can we just give everybody a hand for just making it all out?
Ooh.
Another month. What day we at? Thursday? Another Thursday afternoon, man. The weeks are going by. I can't believe we're in May already. Listen, y'all, I'm Joel Reed. I'm the executive director here at SoundCheck. We are a space for musicians. If you're looking to build your craft as a drummer, keyboard player, bass player, guitarist, you are at the right place. And listen, joining me is none other than the spectacular, the maestro himself. We got Chris Blair in the house. Y'all give a hand for Chris Blair joining me. Chris, what's going on back there, bro?
Hey, man. I'm doing
Listen,
well, man.
you're in the lab right now, fam.
Yeah,
Y'all,
bro, this is-
y'all,
this is-
talk to me, bro.
This is nice, man. I love this place. This is feels like so homey, you know?
Listen, as a drummer, I know y'all are always like in some like suspect room, like you know what I mean,
Yeah,
like
like
off
the
to the
sound
side.
treatment, bro.
How does it feel to be in a room with people? Like, talk to me.
Hey
like-
man, like I love it, bro. I'm here for the people. I love the drum community. I love, what you have going on. Like just bringing people together. Just giving people an opportunity to grow and learn.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. This is lovely.
Yo, so solid, bro. Listen, we're excited to have you here. And obviously you've got like again, you're in the lab, you're ready to cook. You got all this amazing drum set behind you and in front of you and everything else. And we are in for such a treat. But before we get into playing, Chris, I just want talk to us a little bit because if I'm not right, like music has been a long part of your journey. Is that right? Like
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Essentially, like I grew up, like basically probably a lot of you guys here or maybe online watching, grew up in the church, just around like talented musicians.
Solid.
Like they say, I feel like the best musicians come from the church,
Solid.
But yeah, I grew up in the church, really got introduced to music by my dad. Like he's not like a musician, but he's like a gospel artist and more of an enthusiast though. But he put me around like a lot of great guys, like, from early on out. So I got the chance to see, like people perform at a high level at a young age. So
wow.
Which definitely impacted me. Like if it wasn't for like the Otises and the Adrians and Larnell and Ricky, John Laws, like all those guys, like watching them growing up, like I feel like that's who kind of shaped who I am today, what you're gonna see. So yeah.
You're coming up. So walk me through it. Like you're coming up. You said you grew up in a musical household, like your dad. Shout out to your dad, right?
Yes, sir.
Just and folks want to check him out, right? Like who is he?
Patrick Blair. If you guys don't know, Carry Go Bring Come, bro.
All right, there you
check
go.
him out.
There you go.
All the yaddies know.
There
But
you go. That's what's up. And so you're like you're coming up and like you're immersed. Like you don't even really have a choice. Is that what I'm hearing? Like music is just everywhere.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, of course you have a choice, but it's like, you know, you're just surrounded by it. You're immersed by it. So you know, I feel like it just came naturally for me. You know,
solid, man. Yeah. So solid. Listen, I'm excited to hear. And so, you know, so talk to us about like those early years. Like, what was it about drums? Because, like, as you said, your dad's coming around. You're seeing all these artists, musicians coming through. Like, what drew you to the drums, though? Like, why drums?
That's a good question. I mean, as long as I could remember, I've always just been, you know, hitting things, like trying to emulate a drum. Like, of course, like the typical story, pots and pans, but like it was like everything, leaves, anything was a cymbal. Anything was a snare, you know? So, yeah, I don't know, I just fell in love. To be honest, like one of my first influences, this guy named Nicholas, I don't think he's really playing anymore, but like I got a chance to watch him like early on out, and like just seeing him play, how amazing he was, it was like, yo, I gotta be like that. I gotta do that, what he's doing, you know? So
I love that, man.
Watching guys like him, you know, just, sorry, this mic is tweaking. But yeah, does it look weird on my head? It feels weird.
Talk to us, audience. We got folks joining in audience, and we got folks also joining online. That's the beauty of this. How's Chris doing, y'all? He's all right?
Yeah.
Everybody hearing him all right? Awesome. Solid.
That's good. Yeah, man, just watching those guys like kind of took me and inspired me to, you know, push in this, like. So like my dad always, you know, gave me like opportunity to actually play an instrument. It's not like, you know, he put me around a lot of good guys, but he actually provided me drums, like instruments, so I could, you know, work it out. So
right. So he wanted you, like, he saw you on the pots and pans. He saw that potential, or you know, he saw something, and he's like, yo, we gotta get with this.
Yeah, but him too, like he was involved in music, so it wasn't just for like me and my bro, but also him. Like he plays a bit of organ, keys, bass, whatever. He was involved. So yeah, like it was just there. It was there.
Got you. That's what's up.
Yeah.
No, that's what's up, y'all. And so thank you for that, man. Listen, I know we're all. Anyone want to hear Chris play? Like, I know he's been talking a little bit. We're kind of getting to hear his voice, but like he also has a lot to say behind that kid. And
I'm gonna try.
Listen, I want to hear some of it, and I'm sure our audience does as well.
Okay.
So, Chris, you got some songs for us to perform, right?
Yeah, I do.
So let's start with the first one, if that's all right.
Okay. Let me just tell you about the first one as I set this thing up here.
Nice.
So first song is this song called, I don't know if this is the official name, but it's "There Is a Name" by Nathaniel Bassey. There is a name. Don't watch the voice. There is a name. But yeah, basically I'm gonna be doing that. You know, gospel is my roots, so. But this specific song, like, it's just a vibe to me, and it's like anything that kind of pushes me to worship, I definitely gravitate to.
Got you.
Because
that's what's up.
I feel like I'm a worshiper first. At least I try to be. So like hearing this song for the first time, I'm like, yeah, man, I gotta do this. So
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Yes, sir. Let me just I think my interface changed. Okay, there we go. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoy. Yeah, let's do it.
Give it up for Chris one more time, man. Let's celebrate. It's all right, man. We got it.
Good to go?
And y'all, I think, there we go. Let's give it one more time, y'all, for Chris. Listen, Chris, I gotta look at you here, man.
Yes, sir.
Really? That's how you feel? Listen, incredible performance, man. You sound amazing. Doesn't his drum sound good, y'all? His drums sound clean, man.
I don't even
listen. I don't even say again.
Pearl,
Okay,
that's not Yamaha, not that DW.
Okay.
Not that time of garbage.
We're not throwing no shade. We're not throwing no shade. All right. Well, we obviously. Well, let's talk about that, right? Like, what kind of a drum set? You just mentioned Pearl, so like, talk to us about your setup, because like, you're in there, and I'm just like, yo, like what? Like, you first of all, like, it's a ring of just all kinds of things going on, and like, yo, break that down. You look like you're in a spaceship, bro. Like, talk to us.
Okay, so just let's start with the drums itself. So these are Pearl's Pearl Session Studio.
Okay, got you.
So it's an older series. They don't make this exact one anymore.
Okay.
They have like this one called Session Select, I believe.
Okay.
So these are like birch cells. I like them because they're punchy, they're warm.
Punchy for real.
Yeah, like when you hit the toms, it like speaks back to you quickly. But it's not like a drum that kind of sustains a note. It's like doom. Some drums, like, they can just ring on forever.
Okay.
This one is like doom, doom, doom. It's quick in and out,
Got you.
Love that. The tone is warm. I love that. Yeah, that's
and walk us through the setup, because I think we even got an angle there where we kind of see you a little bit more. Okay. But you got like all this stuff going on, right? Like, there's like, is it 2 snares or like
two snares?
Yeah, walk us through that, man.
Just different sounds, different voice. Like, music is a conversation to me. So
yeah.
Having different elements, different sounds, just makes the music sound more dynamic.
Got you.
Yeah, I didn't use it on the last track, but it's definitely going to be used on some stuff that I have coming up.
Got you.
But yeah, just just to diversify the sound, sound eclectic in a way, I guess.
Right.
But let's talk about cymbals. I'm with this company called Red Cymbals. It's like Christian based. They're Turkish cymbals.
Okay.
Sound really dope to me. What I love most about them is that they offer like a wide variety to choose from. Like, I love Sabian. I have always loved Sabian, but I find that Sabian cymbals, you don't necessarily have the greatest selection, right?
Got you.
So I love the fact that these guys offer so much.
Got you.
So what I have here is a TMD 19-inch crash. It's like a brilliant. So it adds like a little bit of brightness, a bit of trash, if you guys have noticed.
Right.
Then we have here, this is a glow. It's a custom, so it's not like on their website. It was, that's another thing that I love. You can actually customize your cymbals. If anyone is interested in, joining with this company, like, you can tell them exactly what sound you're looking for, and you can work with them to kind of create that sound.
Amazing.
So you can sound unique.
So can you play the one, because you said it's custom? Can we hear how that sounds?
This one is custom, yeah. So this one, as you guys can hear, it's a bit warmer. It's still quick. What I mean by quick is, like, sometimes when you hit a cymbal, it's like, it just sounds like metal, and it takes a little bit more effort and energy to get that good tone out of it. This one, you can hit it like soft or hard. You're gonna get that nice tone of the cymbal. Drummers would understand. But,
got you. That's what's up.
Yeah, so this one, a little different from this. This has a little bit more of coating, so it's not as bright. And once again, just different voice, different texture. Playing a bit of a smaller splash here. This is a 6-inch. It's kind of hybrid, so it has like a natural and a brilliant finish, which is
interesting.
Yeah. Interesting is the word, right? And then we have like an ozone splash. It's kind of trashy, airy.
And you know what? So I've always wondered this about drummers, because like, every drummer, it's almost like you have to have your own cymbals, right? And like, depending on the situation, if I'm not mistaken, it's like is that how you approach it? Like, is it more like, I'm playing this type of music, therefore I need these type of cymbals? Or like, how do you approach kind of your selection? Or is it just for taste?
I guess it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Like, some people gravitate to certain cymbals because that's what they just like.
Got
Other
you.
people gravitate to certain cymbals because that's what the gig requires.
Got you.
So like a jazz cymbal wouldn't sound like this. It would be, I wish I had one to show you,
right,
but it would be more washy. It's not as direct.
Okay, got you.
Kind of like what I was explaining with the toms, like the in and out. A jazz cymbal just sustains longer, right? And it doesn't sound as clear when you hit it. It sounds more muffled, you know?
Got you.
So yeah, depending on, you know, of course, your interest, like what you like, and of course what the gig requires, that's what would usually determine what cymbals someone buys.
Got
right?
you. No, that's awesome, man. Such great insights. And like, I know you did sort of a demonstration of how, you know, each sort of cymbal sounds. Can you kind of walk us through your sound? Like, hit each drum. Let's get a sense of like we want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
We can start with the toms. So, you know, let's start here. Like I have like a typical, I guess you would say, like a more popular gospel setup. So like 3 rack toms, 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch.
Okay.
And that's just, you know, like once again, wide variety of tones. You know, it's like having a 66 key keyboard versus like an 88. You just have more.
You got more.
With,
right. Got you.
So that's why I like that. Just, you know, and I just love the sound of the 8. I'm running a 16 floor tom, 22-inch kick. I have a deep snare. I think it's a 14x5.
That's what's up.
Sounds fat, low. You know?
Yeah, you definitely get that. And tell me about the heads as well on the toms, right? Because I know, like, depending on your style, right? Like, doesn't the head choice have a lot to do with the tone?
Definitely.
Okay.
So you guys can see on the camera, right? I'm running clear heads, G2s. I find that, I don't want to get so nerdy and specific, but I find that G2 clears are just, they give a natural tone of the drum. It doesn't kind of mask it with another sound, right?
Got
it's
you.
Like the natural sound.
Pure drums.
Pure drums.
Got you.
But it also adds a bit of warmth. Like you could go Remo Emperor clears. I love those too.
Okay.
I just find that they're not as warm and maybe not as durable. But you know, people love them. You know, to each his own.
Got you.
I personally gravitate to something a bit more warm and controlled.
Got you.
Sound, you know.
Yeah, man. And so, like, let's kind of, like, thank you for walking us through the gear. And,
Absolutely.
like, yo, you sound incredible. And we're seeing all the tools of the trade, if you will. But talk to us a little bit, going back even into your performance. Because, like, one of the things that really stood out to me, and, like, to me, it, in my opinion, it always shows, like, the type of drummer you have. Like, are you dealing with a really experienced drummer, someone that's really skilled? I find like your ability to make layers in the song. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the great drummers, you just showed us an excellent example. Like the first thing you did, even before you started playing your toms or anything, like just atmosphere and like just vibe, like, you know what I mean, on the cymbals and just like feel. So talk to us about that, like just your approach and how you layer, because it's so much more than just, all right, I'm gonna dig in and just drop a beat, right? Like that's not what you just did.
Right. Absolutely. I love what you said, layers, because I find that music is layers. It's a story. A story is layers, right?
Right.
You watch a movie, it's layers. Like,
Right.
It has a intro, beginning, middle, end, climax, all that, right?
True.
It's layers.
True. Yeah.
So, you know, I approach music in the same way. I try to, beyond the layering, like, you know, starting off a bit soft, you know, and then gradually going up, I find that kind of doing things that complement the music is something that I'm a music first type of guy. There are players that, like, you know, they're more choppy, like they're more expressive. Right. Okay. You know, which is great too. Right. But I like to cater to the music first.
Got you.
I like to describe it as like, you know, everyone knows this term like feel and feels, right? Right. I'm more of a feel player. Okay. I feel like
But hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did y'all just miss all the fills you're doing? Like, what do you, like, cut the charade, man? Like,
the thing is, okay, so, like, I feel like it's like a climax thing. Like, the fills are really just to, you know, create excitement and differentiate the sections of the song. Right. But really, I'm more of a feel. Like, I enjoy it more when I'm playing, like, feel approach, you know?
Got you. Okay.
As opposed to feel approach.
Got you.
I feel like feel caters to the music, whereas like feels cater to you, the artist.
Got you. Okay.
They how could I say this? Like, feel draws attention to the music.
Okay.
It feeds the music, whereas feels draw attention to you as a musician.
Interesting.
You know?
Say that again, man. That's insightful.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, feel draws attention to the music. It heightens the music. It supports and reinforces whatever is going on musically.
Got you.
But feels, it draws attention to the player.
Got you.
I'm not really that attention type of guy, per se. Like, if I'm doing it, I'm more doing it out of excitement and, you know, just because I want the music to go up, but I'm not necessarily doing it because I want to draw attention to myself. And that's why most of the time I'm more laid back and reserved. Like, if you were to see me play live, most of the time I'm more laid back.
Got you.
Because,
no, that's so solid, man. Like, you talked about like the importance of like just having a really great feel and how in your approach, like that's the most important thing. And most times, Chris, like you're usually playing with other band members, right? Like you're in a situation where you're like today we know you're here, you're by yourself, you're playing with tracks, whatever. But usually, like, talk to us about that. Like, is it like talk to us just about that approach, like being in the band, being the drummer, and like you touched on it, right? Like elevating the music. But talk to us a little bit about that in the context of the rest of the band.
So, because like, you know, as many of us know, like a band is more than one instrument.
Right.
So there's more than one voice happening like simultaneously. So I feel that, you know, as a drummer, you should kind of focus on your job, which is not necessarily what another instrument can do. Like of course there's percussion in the bass, and like if you're playing organ, there's percussion really in every instrument, but I feel like as a drummer you have to drive that rhythm. Like you're the driving force of the song. So understanding that, I feel each drummer should kind of have that as like a primary goal, right? Not necessarily to be doing any extra stuff, which is not a problem. I guess it just really depends on the music. But how I approach music is like I want to first kind of do my job, which is, you know, keep the groove going, keep the driving force, keep the energy up.
Got you.
You know, and
then kind of build from there, if anything else, right?
Exactly.
Got you. So why don't you demonstrate, like, because I know you said you're like a feel first type of drummer.
Absolutely.
Just give us a groove that feels good, and then maybe talk to us a little bit about. Remember we talked about that layers. So like maybe start off with how you might like, you know, solid establishing the foundation, and then start adding some layers to it so we can get a sense of what you mean.
Okay. Before I do, I just want to like also note.
Yeah.
I feel that like when music sounds noisy, it's because there's too much going on. So I like to kind of minimize. If the music is going there, I'll follow it. Like, you know, it's like a wave. You kind of just ride whatever is going on at the time.
Right.
But naturally, I feel as though the music that sounds the best or has the most impact to an individual is music that is balanced.
Right.
So that's why I feel as though like, you know, each instrument should first kind of focus on their job, their objective, you know, and then kind of, you know, explore and be creative.
Got you. And so, for you, that's the groove first.
Exactly.
Got you.
Groove and feel.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, so let's do a beat. So I guess I could do
I want to see this.
Something a bit like more busy, and then I actually have a song to demonstrate this, so I'll show you guys after it in context.
Awesome.
But this is like just to demonstrate how like busyness can affect your feeling. Like I feel like too much music, it makes you think too much. You're not really connecting, right? It's just so much going on, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna play something a bit busy, and then I'm gonna play something a bit more laid back. And I feel like more thoughts and feelings will come out when it's laid back, as you guys will see and find out. All right?
Awesome.
So the busy one first. Let me just put. I'm going to play something a bit more laid back.
Incredible, y'all. Let's give it up for Chris one more time. Listen, did y'all notice that? Did y'all see what he was saying? Like, I don't know about y'all. Like, the first one, like, you're trying to, like, all right, where's the one, right? The second time, it was very, like, you could understand it, right? And then even as he was laying and adding on afterwards. So thank you for that, Chris. We definitely appreciate it. Chris, I know you're trying to get your mic here sorted out, but we got you, man. We'll come in. In the meantime, did anyone have any questions? I know we got some folks here in the audience. Y'all see that mic right in the middle, right here, yeah, no, right there. So if y'all want, please, if you have any questions for Chris, at any point, just feel free to come on up here. We invite questions. We want to hear from you all. That's what this is about. It's a learning experience. So definitely do that if y'all have any questions. And Chris, I know you got sorted out there. Yeah, man. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So just to demonstrate, I guess you guys tell me. You guys can respond. Do we have a mic for the audience?
Yeah, there's a mic right here. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you tell me like what brings more, because like music, of course, is about a story, but it's also about a message, right? So if there's a message involved with the music, how is that message really going to come across if there's so much going on? I feel like it's going to be a distraction. It's going to cause your attention to drift. But when the music is more simplified, it allows the message to drive home better or clearer.
Got you. And as you said, it really depends on obviously stylistically and what you're going for. But
exactly.
But you did a great example of just showing us how those layers kind of come in there.
Yes, sir.
Did anyone have? I wanted to just give folks a chance. Did anyone have any questions for Chris at this moment? Just feel free to come on up. If y'all have any questions, we want to hear from you. If you're on, I know we've got some folks joining online as well. If you have any questions, yeah, come on up if you got it. I saw some. Oh, okay. I thought. Oh, no worries. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Amira here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. What's going on?
Pleasure to meet you, and thank you, SoundCheck, for organizing this. I have a juicy question. So I'm a drummer, play in my church every Sunday for about 10 years. What is your take in regards to charging and being invested back into and being honored for your gifts and talents? I know that's always kind of a catch-22 because it's ministry, but we have to pay to live and survive and bills and stuff like that. So what's kind of your take and your experience with that, and kind of being firm and setting certain boundaries so that you're not being taken advantage of while still serving God through your craft, your gift?
Okay, so are you saying like only in the gospel arena or like overall? Like
I would say specific to the gospel because that's where I play.
Okay. Yeah, that could get a little touchy.
Yeah.
But I would say that, if you understand your value, there is no shame in standing by it, I feel that, if you're investing your time, your money, your energy, all of this resources into this craft, I feel like you should be rewarded for it, right? Through compensation. So also, kind of just to go against the grain, I do find that ministry is more of a sacrifice. It can be. So always approaching it as a business is, for me, not always my favorite approach. Sometimes I kind of look at, okay, what is the bigger picture? What is the goal at hand? And if the budget is there, of course, I'm going to stand by what I would charge. But also, too, if I believe in the vision and I want to support that, I'm definitely flexible. So I feel like everyone should have that, and I also kind of look at it as, I want to give back to God. Like, this gift obviously didn't come from myself, right? So I feel like God has given me a gift, and for me to charge him, for the gift that he gave me, I feel like it could be a little hypocritical, So I always want to, show my support and my gratitude to God by, lending a helping hand wherever I can.
And talk to us a little bit about that, Chris, because I know, and thank you for the question. Y'all give it up one more time, y'all. I know, again, like, because there's two sides, right? But let's talk a little bit about the business side, because as you mentioned, right, like this is your craft. You've been working on that. You've been, investing your time, your resources, your energy. Like, talk to us about approaching it from a business standpoint, because as you mentioned, there are sort of two sides. Yes, you can pick and choose the types of things and opportunities in which you want to play, and maybe approach it a bit differently. But talk to us a little bit about when it is a business, because ultimately there's a lot of folks that do have this talent and are actually looking for ways in which, man, like I want to be able to make money doing this craft and this gift that I have. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, so from a business point of view, like I said, I mean, if you have invested your money and your time, you're obviously looking for returns, right? Every businessman is looking for, investment and return. So, definitely, that is something that you should always keep at, I would say like as a objective, or not to lose focus of the fact that this is a business, because a lot of people do this for a living, but sometimes I feel like we could get swayed in another direction because we want to mix it with like what we are passionate about, like religion or maybe like a friend, or but I feel like as a businessman, like to be successful, if you want to focus on making money and like supporting yourself, I feel like you have to kind of be stern and kind of approach it as a business. So number one, I would say that like there are a few things that separate like people who want to do it based on passion and people who want to make it a business. I would say that, of course, everyone should have like the discipline to be on time, to learn the music, know, to be an approachable person, friendly, that type of thing. But I feel like if you're approaching it as a business, you kind of got to look at it as you're basically your own employee, right? And so therefore, it's like you have to kind of carry yourself professionally, right? So you can't really always be expecting, big payout and okay, I deserve this type of compensation if you are not really
at that place, right? Yeah.
If you're not at least acting professionally. So I would definitely say that, before you even think about money, I would say think about how you're going to position yourself as a professional.
And how was it for you? Because and maybe this is kind of a bit of a segue, because I know you've also done, like, just in terms of your career as a musician and getting out there. So talk to us a little bit about maybe some of your experience, right? And like how, some of those doors and opportunities came to be.
I want to say it's number one, the favor of God. I can't even say that like I've worked so hard to, to get the type of opportunities I've gotten. I gotta say it's the favor. But I also want to say that like, okay, I would say the favor. I mean, like my prophet always speaks about this. I feel like favor gets you in the door, but your character and your discipline keeps you in the door, right? So I would say that you definitely cannot avoid being disciplined and responsible and professional, right? That is something that is going to be required of you if you want to maintain these type of opportunities. If you want to show people that, hey, choose me, get me on the gig, or you could use me, I'm available. Like what's gonna make people say that? Yeah, let's use you. I feel like it's the professionalism and discipline, all these things combined. So I feel like if you're looking at it from a business perspective, you got to look at it as if you are an employee. Would you hire yourself?
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then talk to, because what are some of the things you've done? Because I know you've done some things, right, with the drums. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So what I've done?
Yeah. Just
not much. But I have gotten a few opportunities. I used to play for Daniel Caesar and like Jully Black, and I'm still with Savannah Rè. Got a few opportunities to play for some great gospel legends like, Jonathan Nelson, Donnie McClurkin, the Walls Group, just to name a few.
Incredible, man. And like when you started, because it's like pots and pans, right? That's what you're telling us, right? And then, all of a sudden you're getting all these types of opportunities. And so talk to us a little bit about that, because as a drummer, like one thing you've done so well is you have like your own sound, right? Like, and sometimes it's like, it's not just enough to just be keeping time, but like to have a sound and an experience every time you touch the drums, because that's what happens when I hear you, at least.
Right.
Yeah.
So developing your sound, I'm actually going to, you're moving prophetically, bro.
Listen,
because I'm actually going to do like a thing on that.
All right, let's go. Let's hear.
But basically, I feel like developing your sound really boils down to 2 points: what you intake and what you practice. And the reason why I say practice is because I've really actually like been a victim, or I can attest to this, right? Okay, aside from what you listen to, I feel like what you practice, just not like having to learn music, not trying to emulate someone else,
right,
but like what you're just doing when you're not necessarily thinking about anything. You're just letting yourself come out.
Right.
I feel like that's what develops your sound. I used to do that a lot. Like, no music, I'm just behind the drums and I'm just doing whatever comes to mind.
Wow.
And I would find myself doing things that, this is nice. Let me, and it kind of just developed into what you hear today. So
interesting.
I would actually highly recommend that when you're practicing, don't practice to anything. Let whatever is inside of you come out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did y'all get that?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So like that's how you developed a lot of it, because I guess to the contrary, right? You don't necessarily want to sound like someone else, right? Who's developed their own sound. So like, what's that line between like being influenced but not quite a copy, if that makes sense?
I think it's really hard to be a copy, to be honest. I feel like naturally,
right,
you would kind of defer and go your own course. I feel like it's harder to be a copy than to be original.
Say that again.
Yeah, it's harder to be a copy than to be an original musician or a person.
Interesting.
And like, because like naturally you will do things that another person won't do, because they're not you. There's only one you, right? So,
right.
And that's why I stress, bro, like you have to actually spend time with yourself. Like, let whatever's inside of you like blossom and come out, like having to study someone is essential, right? But I feel like also studying yourself is essential, allowing, your own personality to seep through your playing.
Amazing, man. On that note, I know you've got another song, if I'm not mistaken. I'd love to hear it, and I'm sure our in-person audience and online would love to as well.
Okay, let's do it. Once again, this is a song by Sam Williams. Anyone know Sam Williams? Yeah. This is his original song I decided to cover. So a little bit of a backstory. I actually did the song for Drum Day 2024, which is coming out. Right. But we had to switch the song, so you won't be hearing that whenever Drum Day does get released. Awesome. But this is what I did on the Drum Day. But I really do love. Sam Williams is amazing, man. Like, salute to him, bro. Like he can make some music. But I hope you guys enjoy. The song is called Friday. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. and gentlemen, Chris Blair. Let's give it up one more time. Chris. My good Chris. Do you have to do the drums like that, man? That's how you feel?
Appreciate you, bro.
Listen, I don't even know where to start, man. That's how you feel. All right, let's break this down, y'all. Let's break this down. We got a question. I got a lot of questions, but let's hear from y'all. Talk to us. What? How? Talk to us. I think we need the mic here, y'all, just for everybody to hear. Yeah, go ahead, man, with your question. I think we got you now.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, can you talk to us a little bit about that? Like that kind of when you're just in that zone.
Awesome. I'm just going to repeat the question because I think we just didn't get it for our audience online. So the question was, talk to us about stank face, but beyond that, being in that moment and just like being just present in whatever that was. Like, talk to us about that.
Okay, stank face. I mean, it's really just a reflex, I guess. Yeah, it's just I'm not even thinking about it, to be honest. It just happens, like it's reaction. I'm in it. I don't even know what to say.
For real. I hear you. And listen, like there are so many layers because that's what it goes back to for me. Like we're talking about fills, we're talking about feel, we're talking about foundation today, and like I feel like everything just came out in that performance that you did, like literally from the foundation, just the way the groove dropped. First and foremost, like you made sure we knew where the 2 and the 4 were. Like it doesn't matter where you were, if you were in this room, if you're online, if you're halfway across the world, you made sure we knew where the timing was. So talk to us about that. Like how did you approach that?
Like I said, like I have to subscribe. I have to feel something when I'm playing, I feel like when you feel something, it kind of just, it makes it more enjoyable for others. Like if you're not feeling it, how is someone supposed to feel it?
True.
So
you don't even want to do it.
Exactly.
Got you.
So I try to approach music like, yo, let me catch a vibe first, and then everything follows,
For real. Well, you definitely did that just now. And so tell us this then, Chris, because like, yo, after you laid that foundation, right, you started like really spreading out. And like one thing that stood out to me was just the way you were able to manipulate time and divide time and like talk to us about that. Like, are you thinking at this point? Are you counting? Like, what's going through your mind as you're playing?
Yo, let me tell you, bro. I grew up on Spanky. Like, I was obsessed with him. So
for real.
He really is the one that inspired the whole off time and just like manipulating, warping time type thing.
Got you.
But that could come. Like it just really just takes time for you to time. It just takes like some investment, like just to kind of practice with odd meters and like figuring like to have a mental or internal clock inside.
Got you.
So that you always feel the pulse inside, so like you can do whatever you're doing but you're still feeling it inside, so it keeps you on track.
Got you. Because like, and talk to us, like, are you like as you're playing, are you like thinking like I'm dividing time by such and such, or like, okay, I'm doing the triplet thing, or I'm doing the fives? Like what, like how are you thinking? Like, or do you even have to think at this point? Is it just kind of like autopilot?
It's definitely not autopilot, but okay. I feel it's a bit complicated, but I feel, like as you kind of progress as a musician, you stop necessarily thinking, but you're playing based on how you feel. I know, like I had a discussion with my bro recently about feel and all of that,
right?
But I really feel like it boils down to what is happening inside is kind of then translated musically, So that's essentially what's happening. Like I'm feeling like I should do something on the splash that's a little, like maybe off time, or I'm not necessarily thinking about, okay, let me do like a flam or this and that, like all these technical things.
Right.
It's really, I'm just like reacting to a feeling inside me, and it's kind of just happening.
And how did you work on that? Like, were you just like playing to a metronome and just like, as you were saying, just playing what you felt, or how did you develop that? Because I know right now, I feel like what I'm hearing is you're kind of at a point in your playing where like it's more like feel and like, you know, intuition and what feels right and what the music or what the moment calls for. But like, how did you work on that and how did you develop that? Because I know it took practice and it took repetition. No,
absolutely. Just like I said, bro, and I say this because I am an advocate. Like, I am one who could, like, you know, I have been doing this myself, and so I could vouch for it.
Right.
Practice without any music, maybe just a click.
Right.
And let your voice come out and try to do whatever comes to your head, you know, and work on it. That's it. Make sure, you know, like you stay on time, but just make sure that you're doing something that is first within you, like an idea that you had. Maybe you heard it somewhere or whatever just comes to your head at the moment.
Right.
Spend time doing those things. Don't necessarily, like, definitely practice to music.
Right.
But spend time to develop what's inside of you, you know?
Got
like,
you.
God has given everyone a gift and a seed, like, but it's up to you to develop that seed into, you know, like, who you really are, you know?
Got you.
So, yeah. But I also want to say this.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to kind of go back. I just remembered that I had something to say about this topic.
Yeah.
About feeling the music. Like, listen, like, I'm like an extreme introvert. So
You too.
Oh my God, bro. I used to be so nervous playing
real.
anywhere.
For
It doesn't
real.
matter where, it doesn't matter when. I was just that shy guy, right?
Okay,
And my
awesome.
dad always used to lay into me, lick the drum. Come on. And like, you know, and this is during a concert because I used to play for him, you know. I used to play for him, and mans used to look at me like, yo, come on, bro. So, like, what has actually helped me to get rid of, like, stage fright? It still happens, you know? But, like, actually feeling the music. I actually told this to someone, but I told them, like, you know, what will actually, you know, get rid of any, like, anxiety and fear is enjoying the music. You cannot feel fear if you're having fun.
Right.
If you're enjoying the moment,
Right.
if you're in the moment, there's no time to think about,
Messing
you know, like,
up or this
there's so
or
many
that.
people here,
Yeah.
like, what if I do, you know, there's none of that. Enjoy the moment, like, feel the music. And
Got you.
all of those fears and anxiety will just subside.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Amazing. There's a question. Yeah, let's get it on the mic. I think we got it here.
Yeah. So, like you said before, could you give us an actual example of you just playing and exploring the drums like you described before, just without any music or track? I just would love to hear what that sounds like in the room.
Okay. I do have that coming up. Do you mind if I do that later?
In your own time.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Yeah, let's get to the next question. This is incredible. And y'all, if you're online, please, we've got we got YouTube folks joining. Just put your question in the chat if you have a question. We'd love to hear from you wherever you're coming from.
My guy, how are you, man?
I'm good.
I had a two-part question. I know you were exploring your cymbals and you didn't quite explain the specs of that stack. Is that top secret or can we?
No, it's not. This is a clap stack. So it's like three thin cymbals, layered and bent into this shape, and it kind of emulates like the sound of a clap.
And was that custom as well, or was?
No, this is not. This is like a part of their line. So Terry Baker is actually one of the main endorsers of this company, and this is his specific line, you know? Yeah. But you can like custom make it as well. Like, you know, you could tell them, okay, I like it, but can we make it brilliant? Or I like it, but can we do something else, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
My second question was with the Sam Williams song, I know that there are opportunities where you can infer your style upon the song, but you also have opportunities, as you've said, where you are playing with an artist and they require a sound and you've got to kind of discipline yourself to kind of that dichotomy of expression and, you know, application of the music. So I guess how do you prepare for an artist to not solely play out of style, but to kind of not read their mind, but approach it in a way that the artist would require and retain you?
Great question. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing question. I love that. Listening. That's the key, you know, just I feel like eliminating your opinion, You know, sometimes I feel, you know, we as musicians, we feel like, yo, this is my sound. I want to do this. I need to do this here and whatever. But I feel that, you know, it's not about you when you're playing with a band, you know. So like I said before, bro, your main objective, your primary objective is to feed the music. Do what the music required. Like, if the producer made it a certain way, of course you could bring your suggestions, you know, and it's, you know, up to them to decide whether they're going to do what you asked. But ultimately, bro, like, do what the music suggests. Like, the music has a voice, you know, and it's suggesting that you
Say that again. Say that again.
The music itself has a voice. Like you could hear it, bro. Like, in these type of songs, like, you could hear that, okay, this is an opening. Express yourself, you know? Like, okay, this is a groove section. Just keep locked in. Like, I feel like the music kind of dictates what you play as well. But also, like, just, once again, listening to, you know, the producer or your MD or the music itself is essential for you to succeed, you know, as a musician.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Super solid. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead, y'all. I love this.
Hey, Chris, first thing I want to say is that snare sounds nice.
Which one?
That one? Yeah, the main one. My question was, so say if you have an upcoming like gig at church or just a concert or something, what's your approach? Like, how do you study the music that you're supposed to play?
That's a good question. Again, I believe it just boils down to listening. You can never receive any information if it's not, you know, if it's not through your ears when it pertains to music. So it's like, you know, take the time to listen, you know. Don't be like, okay, yeah, I got this, and then just do your own thing. Make sure that you're actually getting the parts correctly.
Can you imagine that? Eh? You listen to the song for like 3 seconds and you're like, I got it. What, four times?
I'm also a victim of that. Like, I do that a lot myself, but it's not the right way. I feel like, you know, whoever designed the music had a reason why they decided to do it that specific way. So at least, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt and follow the music, you know. If you guys as a band decide that, you know, you want to go a different direction or you want to remix it, make it your own, by all means, right? But I would say that, like, if you're sent music, follow the music. That's your guide, right? So
I love that, man.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we sort of move on? Oh, actually, there was one on you from our online audience. So the person said, listen, hey, Chris, they are a young drummer, 17 years old, and they have their opportunity to play at their first live recording. They're wondering, big up yourself, 17. And yeah, man, that's huge. And they're asking, you know, what kind of advice, especially playing with older heads. Talk to us.
I'm gonna say, like, there isn't really like an answer that fits every situation. You really gotta kind of like play it by ear and kind of apply it where it's necessary. But I would say that less is more on a recording. You know, you think, and I've learned this the hard way because I never used to record myself play. But like hearing recordings of myself, like, at times I'm like, yo, why am I doing so much? This sounds so busy, you know? Okay. And that's why I stress, like, sometimes less is more. You feel like you need to do that extra paradiddle or that extra flam or whatever, but sometimes it's not necessary, and it actually distracts from the music. It takes away from the feel and the emphasis of the song, you know? So I would say that, like, learn to play spaced out. Like, Calvin Rogers is one of my, you know, I want to say, like, idols, or, like, you know, person that I've gleaned so much knowledge from. And the one thing about him, like, of course everyone knows, like, he can chop his face off, right? Like, he could do some crazy stuff, but, like, when he's not chopping, like, the reason why it feels so good is because it's spaced out. Like, okay, can I show you guys an example?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I just want to say that you're not really going to notice this until you hear it back. Like, and that's why I say that, okay, I would also actually add that like, when you practice, record yourself. Especially when you're practicing to a song, record yourself, because then you would get a real, true idea of what you're doing. Like, sometimes what you hear in your head is not actually how it translates in real life, you know? So start recording yourself, and you will, like, grow really quickly as a musician. But let me just show you.
Looking in the mirror, man. I'm telling you.
Not as spaced out, so a little bit more like happening in between like the subdivisions, and you guys will see that it may kind of sound a little bit too much. All right, 1, 2.
Y'all give Chris a hand, man. Y'all, first of all, Chris, those toms, man. My goodness, those toms, they're talking.
Yeah,
they're talking, and it's kind of a cheat code in the sense that you're busy still sounds amazing. So I'm just like, but I think the audience really gets what you're saying. You know what I mean? Because like, it's crazy. Like the first example that you did, like the drums said so much, but like your fills were so intentional and very short and just very like tasteful, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna like show like that concept in context with a song, because you will get it. Like some songs, like you're just really there to feel the music. You're not really there to stand out or to draw attention to yourself. You're just there to reinforce whatever is happening in the song. So doing like other things, like it's cool, even if it's actually like a good feel, sometimes like I said, it just takes away, it detracts from the music, so.
What I will say is you sounded bigger the first time. Like it sounded bigger. It sounded wider. It sounded huge the first time. And the second time you're doing a lot more, but it sounded great, but it didn't sound as big, if that makes sense.
Another thing is, like, I think we touched on it earlier, because, like, you're playing with a band and vocalists and all of that, a lot of times, what you would do if you're doing, like, intricate stuff and, like, there's no opening for it, you're just doing it while everything else is going on, it actually won't even come out. You won't really hear it in the song.
Right.
So... because there's like guitars, like remember, like when you're playing on a record, and I guess this could help the 17-year-old. What's his name, by the way?
We have Jerome, I think.
Jerome.
Yeah.
So Jerome, like a lot of things, like if you make it super dense while everything else is going on, it's not going to come through because you're fighting with frequencies, right? Like drums, every drum, every note, every cymbal, everything you play has a frequency, and there's only so much bandwidth in a song, right? So like if there are two elements fighting at the same frequency, they're gonna cancel each other out. So that's why spacing out your playing allows your drums to be felt more, right? Because you're not fighting with another frequency, So I guess I could just add that as well.
And the other thing I will say, just because of how, I don't know if it's the tuning, I'm sure it's a combination of the tuning and who we have playing the drums, but those toms, man, like you literally hit like one note or two notes and it just filled out the space so wonderfully, and I'm just like, my goodness, incredible, man. Sounds great.
I would also add that like that also can come down to how you're hitting the drums, Like even if you play spaced out, I mean, if it's on a recording, like obviously the engineer could just turn up your tom or your snare or whatever.
Right.
But like, I feel though as though like how you hit it also has an impact on how it comes out in the recording because you know, like I could. Has
so what was that? Like, what's that? How are you hitting it that second time?
So it's really just harder and just more concise.
Okay.
So not like fluctuating in velocity. So I won't be like. You get what I'm saying? Unless it's intentional. Like everything is kind of balanced and on the same level for the most part.
Got you. So you're literally like dynamics. Like if I'm gonna hit this hard, then this drum is gonna be hit equally as hard.
Exactly.
So it doesn't feel like something's happening.
Right. So everything is heard.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. That translates right across like every instrument, really.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Any other questions, y'all? Any questions for Chris on that topic? All right, cool. We'll keep it moving. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Speaking of playing for the first time somewhere, a few months ago I had my first gig at a church.
Big up yourself.
And it was after, because I only started playing here or practicing here October last year. Mm-hmm. And so that was my first time really taking...
Right here at SoundCheck, is that right?
Yes.
I just want to get the story right. Just want to get the story right for the record.
Yeah. It was my first time actually taking what I'm learning here from everybody and saying, okay, what can I actually do in this space? And I think I listened to it back again. There were videos and stuff. Some friends were there, and it was good. But what I wanted to ask you, since you're very experienced with that space, is how do you incorporate the vibe of the space that you're in into your style or into the way you go about playing that music, whether it's on a stage with a singer and you're elevating their message with that song, or whether it's, in the church and you're trying to have everybody help everybody have that faith and that spirit and everything, and you're trying to keep their spirits up and everything like that. Whatever space it is, how do you go about incorporating that into what you play?
Thanks for
and
that
enhancing
question.
it.
Yeah. My bad. Can you just clarify the question? So, when you say how do you incorporate what exactly?
I guess what I'm saying is, how do you take the energy that's that you're feeling as you're in that space, and what am I trying to say? How do you basically
sort of translate that into your playing, or?
Yeah, not even tailor, just sort of infuse it with what you're already playing, if that makes sense, and then just kind of
Are you talking about playing to the room in that sense, or
yeah,
playing to your audience?
Yeah, see, you're finding the words. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so playing to the audience,
right? Especially when it's different settings, because I think that was a big part of it, right? Because does it change? Is it always the same?
Okay, I think.
Are you playing to the room? Yeah.
Okay, so I guess there's a couple of elements. Obviously the room itself. The size of the room matters, So I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm doing it now, but on a gig, I'm not gonna be
too loud, right? I'm not
right.
being too loud.
Or if it's a jazz, I'm not gonna be swailing on the snare and I'm supposed to be, So obviously, depending on the style of music and the size of the room, that will also have an influence on how I play. But I would say, I mean, musicians often play on the reaction of the audience. I mean, singers do that as well. If the audience is hype, it's going to, intensify how you play, right? But I would say, don't always rely on the audience to kind of dictate how you approach the song, because sometimes that will diminish you as an individual, right? And you are hired or you are assigned to that position to deliver at a certain level. So if you're always relying on the audience or the room or how you feel to perform at that level, it's like your performance is going to fluctuate all the time, right? So once again, I'm going to go back to what I said before. Catch a vibe first. You know, like you feel the music, like and you won't always get music that, you know, inspires you the most or makes you feel like playing, but like that's a part of being professional and being disciplined, that like regardless of the situation, you know, you're just going to make the best out of it, right? And you're going to find a way to enjoy it, right? So I would say, you know, lean on that a little bit more than, you know, kind of trying to cater to, you know, maybe your band players or like the room or the audience or all these things, because those are always changing, right? But what is constant is what you decide to do, right? So I would say that decide to be a vibe. Like even if like the morale or, you know, the vibes of your players or your singer or your audience are low, yo, you try to be that. You know,
pick it up. You're
right.
on the drums, right?
Especially as a drummer, you know, like
yeah.
that's like your job, bro. So, I mean, yeah, I would say that focus on that, you know.
Incredible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that advice. Chris, we got another question online that came in. Yo, the question was, can you take a rudiment and implement it in a fill? So, for example, a paradiddle or a triplet.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I'm not like the best with theory.
Okay.
So whatever I play, you determine whatever it is. All right, I'm gonna leave that to you. But I'm gonna do it first, and then you guys determine if it's a paradiddle or whatever it is. Really, paradiddle is all I know still.
Okay.
Yeah. But okay, let's do this. I think this is a 6-stroke roll. I should really be better with this. So. So,
the drummers are shaking their heads, so that means
yes?
it is. Yeah, the drummers are saying yeah.
Okay.
So I believe
all right,
them.
All right. So let me do that in a beat. Okay, before. Oh. So does everyone know? Hey, is my mic working? Check. Does everybody know Marvin Sapp, Calvin Rogers? You guys know the song "Magnify"? Does that ring a bell? Okay. Well, Calvin Rogers does that 6-stroke roll at the beginning. So, yeah, you could always refer to that as well as a reference to see how it would sound in a song in context, okay? So, 6-stroke roll.
And for those that are just coming in, we do have some seats in the room if y'all want. A couple seats over here, a couple seats over there if y'all want. That's up to you. And also, lastly, I know everybody's here has their phones. We're recording. Please tag us and stuff, y'all. We want to see this coming all back. So at SoundCheck Youth, be sure to tag us. We want to see all this great content coming out.
Okay.
All solid. Let's hear it.
1, 2, 3.
I just heard someone in the audience. What is that? Like, I'm thinking the same thing. That's a 6-stroke roll, right?
That's a 6-stroke roll.
There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I thought I heard it. Awesome, man. Incredible. So thank you. Yeah, I think that definitely answers this person's question. This other person had a question online. They were saying, yo, when it comes to just the levels of chops that we've seen you deliver right here, the question is, are you thinking about every chop, or does it come naturally? And I think you kind of touched on it. Maybe they weren't here at the time, but yeah.
Yeah, in a way. I actually was having a conversation with my brother Matt recently, and I asked him because I was wondering, is it the same like with every instrument? So I asked him that, if you're playing a chord, are you thinking about the positions of your fingers? Are you thinking about how many notes are in the chord, or do you just think about the chord and you do it based on muscle memory, right?
Right.
It's the same thing. And he said that he just thinks about the chord and it just happens, right?
Right.
Because it would be way too much thinking to be, okay, my pinky's on the flat 6. And like, it's way too much, right?
Yeah.
Especially doing it in real time, it's never going to work. So the same thing applies with fills as well. I think about the fill, I guess, like just imagine like every fill is like a button in your brain, right? It's like, okay, I'm pressing this button and I'm doing a 6-stroke roll, right? So it's, in a way, I guess that's the best way to explain that.
Got
like,
you.
I kind of categorize fills in a way, unless like I'm doing improv and something just happens, that's outside of that like pre-positioned roles or whatever. I would say that like most things are kind of like a button, like I'm thinking about the 6-stroke roll, and I'm like, okay, 6-stroke roll, da 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 da, or like I'm doing a flam, or I'm doing a paradiddle, double paradiddle, whatever. It's like I'm just thinking about that, and it just happens. But I'm not thinking about all the little nuances and left hand, right hand. You get what I'm saying? So
I love that, yo.
Yeah.
And Chris, I'm gonna get you to, if you can, demonstrate this, because I know a lot of times on drums we think loud and busy, kind of you're touching on that, but demonstrate like the low dynamics. Like, how do you say something on the drums without necessarily being loud? Can you demonstrate that?
Sure. So this is just to play soft?
Yeah, play quietly, basically. Play quietly. I want to challenge you, right, Chris?
Yeah, I can't do that.
That's quiet, y'all. That's killing, man. That's incredible, yo. So, and did y'all notice the dynamics? Like, he played quiet, but he chose when to increase the volume, and it was very, intentional. So, thank you for that, man. So you can play quiet. There we go. All right. Any other questions for Chris, y'all? I know he's got another song that he wanted to show us. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What's up, everyone?
What's going on?
Not much. I've known Chris for a while now.
For real.
I have the privilege of playing with him and hearing him like probably for the last 10 years.
You're a lucky person, man.
Yeah. Chris, I've never actually asked you this question. Funny enough, I was thinking about it when I was sitting over there. Whenever you play, especially in any setting, I find that you always I could use an example of like an athlete, right? Could I use that example? Like Michael Jordan. Jordan, when the lights get the brightest and when it's crunch time, he always delivers, Right. Any LeBron fans? All right. So I in music is a little bit different, but I find that whenever you're put into that like light, you always deliver. Like there's no light too bright for you, So I want to know like what's your approach? And the example I have is, sometimes you may be put on the spot to do a solo, I don't think I've ever heard you play the same thing like more than once.
Right.
It's like every single time is something different. I mean, when they tell me to play a solo, I'll just play the same thing, you know? But it's like every single time, it's like you go into a mode, I'm like, how's the guy doing that? You know? Or depending on who you're playing with, if it's, okay, I'll give you an example. You could be in a setting with different musicians, different drummers, but everybody will know it's you playing.
Yeah.
Like like, how do you arise to the occasion? Like, is it something you just don't think of, or you just do, or it's like
Great
a mode,
question.
like it's like a button?
You know what it is? I think it's like a mixture of joy and adrenaline.
Okay.
It's like, everyone has probably heard of the two modes, like fight or flight. So it's like, if you're in that position, it's like you can either like crumble and go into a shell, or you could just give it your all. And most times I feel like, I'm really left with no choice. I have to just push, So that's kind of what allows, I guess, me to I don't know, flourish in those type of moments, because I feel like I have to, and it's like fight or flight. So I choose to fight, and I choose to give it my all. But secondly, going back to also what I was talking about before, I'm actually just happy. Like, drums is like medicine for me. It's like it just makes me happy. So like doing that is just contributing to the vibe that's already happening. So for the most part, like, I don't necessarily feel like it's always so much pressure, because I'm having fun. I don't really see it as like, okay, oh man, like everyone's looking at me. It's like I'm just having fun.
Right.
So once again, like I would say that, if you also have, battled with like stage fright and anxiety when you're playing, just kind of like find joy in the music, find like some sort of thing that makes you happy, because I mean, the Bible says it, the joy of the Lord is our strength. So it's like, but also like the joy of yourself is also your strength. Like you're the strongest probably when you're happy, like when you're excited, when you're pumped up, like you could do anything, but and I feel like the same could be applied to when you're playing in those type of settings.
Amazing, man. Y'all give it up for Chris one more time, yo. Is anybody getting anything from this? Anybody? Yeah, I'm seeing some head shakes. That's good. And yo, Chris, I know you had something else prepared, right? I think this is number 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'd love to hear it, man.
Okay.
All right.
No problem. So this is the kind of laid back song that I was hinting at earlier. So, like I said, it's not always about you as a musician. And this is like a prime example. Like most times, like really good songs that, impact you have a message. And like if you are always interrupting that message with chops or, with something that you're doing musically, feel like it's really not helping. It's not doing anyone any favors, because the song has a message, and that is the most important thing in the song, the message. So this is an example of how to just play the background. It's not about you. Feed the music, feel the music, and allow the message to come out.
Listen, y'all, I'm literally on the first seat here, because I want to see, like, I want to look and take this in. So I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Also, a little bit of some context. This is like a song that I resonate with, and I mean, like, probably everyone. If everyone has a mother, I mean, they should resonate with this. I mean, like, this is Mother's Day month, so in honor of all the mothers, that are alive, this is, I guess, to pay homage to you, and to say that we love you wherever you are.
Are we prepared to see the world with no disguise? Will we listen to the call coming from a distant cry, from a truth that we've denied, coming from all the broken people? Do we even dare look at all the hurting people and show them that we care? This is for the broken people. Heaven could be reaching out today. Are you one who walks on light? Are you afraid to see the pain behind their eyes? Won't you lend a helping hand and love them in His name? You can choose to light the flame. Light it for all the broken people. Do we even dare look at all the hurting people and show them that we care? This is for the broken people. Heaven could be reaching out today. Don't you turn away. It's time to seize the day.
One more time, y'all. Chris Blair. My goodness, my goodness. Chris, my goodness. First and foremost, man, I just wanted to say, like, I was just sitting down, just listening to you play, and just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean that. Like, listen, like, did y'all feel the passion? Did y'all feel like I felt you, man? Thank you for that, brother. We appreciate you. And listen, like, let's talk about that because, like, I heard everyone listening, if that makes any sense. And the reason why everyone in the room was listening was because of how you played. And because of how you played, it literally got the attention of the entire room. And the song, did everyone see what happened? The song became more meaningful. So everything you've been talking about putting the song first, that was a masterclass. Let's give it up one more time, y'all, for Chris. Incredible, man. You're a giant, bro. I mean that. Thank you. Yeah, like, listen, we can go home on that note. like, it's great to hear you, man. Talk to us, man. Like, what, how, why? Talk to us.
Okay. I have a question for everybody though. Like, were you guys listening to me, or were you able to actually hear the lyrics of the song?
I just want to see by showing of hands.
Showing of hands of who was listening to me. I mean, like, obviously, you know, the drums are here and they're the loudest, but who actually got a chance to hear the lyrics? Right? Did that mean anything to you guys? Were you able to, you know, resonate with what was being said?
Absolutely. I'm seeing like head shakes all around. I'm seeing nods. I'm sure online as well. If you can go in the mic, that'd be great. Just because we want to make sure everybody can hear, even online as well. Thank you, man.
No, I was saying the first song was more of the lyrics, but the second song was more of a time and place. Like, it brought me back to the 70s for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But you see, the thing is, it gave you a feeling. Like, did you enjoy that feeling?
Absolutely.
Like, it had that, what's the word?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nostalgia. Thank you.
Right.
Exactly. So, I mean, I feel like, you got to kind of cater to whatever is happening when it was recorded. And that's why I was saying to my guy, yeah, there. So, like the song is the perfect reference, like the producers are producers for a reason, they have a bird's eye view of what everything is supposed to sound like. So, not to say that they're always perfect and right, but for the most part, like every song has these elements of, instruments intentionally input in music, so like you kind of varying from that is not always the best. And so, that's what I try to do. I try to emulate it with the deep snare. I try to kind of remind you of that 70s, 80s feel, right?
Absolutely.
So, and but like I was saying, like the lyrics, the message in the first one primarily. The second one was more of a feel and kind of just like supporting whatever's happening in the music. But definitely, if I overplayed the first one, it would be a distraction. Do you guys see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right. So, yeah, that's
100%. Yeah, you had the snare sounding so tight. Just talk to us about Pocket. But like that was like beyond Pocket, because like it wasn't just that you were keeping time or just making it feel good. You, as I said, you were literally making everyone hear everything that was going on musically based on how you were playing. But talk to us about Pocket, because like your pockets are deep, man. Talk to us about that.
Man, thank you.
I'm gonna need a check after this, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like Pocket. I mean, like I've been saying, it's really just to do whatever is required. Like, I feel like, okay, I would say this. There's a difference between Pocket and being boring. Like, I feel like most people kind of like associate the two together. Like, okay, if you're playing Pocket, you're boring,
Right.
Like, there's no excitement in that, But that is contrary. I feel like that's the opposite of what I believe, because like the man had said, it kind of brings you back to a certain place. And if it does, then that's a job well done. That's
Good job.
That's a success, right?
Yes.
If
Absolutely.
it allows you to hear a message and feel a certain way, that's a success, So I feel, Pocket, like obviously less is more, right? But Pocket is essentially kind of doing the bare minimum. It's kind of like you guys know what like minimalistic aesthetics is, right? Like there's not like Essential or one of those minimalistic brands. There's not a lot going on, but it's enough, right, for you to enjoy, right? That's exactly what Pocket is. It's like essentials, the basics, but enough for you to enjoy the music and for the point of the music to come through.
Awesome.
Right.
Incredible.
That's what I would describe it as.
Incredible. And I know we have some. Yeah. I'd love to get the other questions in the room for sure.
Sorry, one more question. This is about tuning. Your kit sounds amazing, but in regards to your deep snare, I noticed that it sounds deep, but the shell is not deep. Yeah. So would you share a secret as to how you can manipulate your drums to sound how you envision, regardless of how deep or shallow it is?
Yeah, absolutely. It comes down to tuning. I mean, it's not rocket science, but I feel that there are like certain things that are required to get that sound. Like they have, I don't have my bag here. They have this thing that, see how my snare is pretty high? There's a thing that's called big fat snare drum. You could just leave it there and it will change the sound of your drum. But if you want to have a separate thing, like it really just comes down to tuning the snare lower and putting dampening. I have these little clear moon gels.
Can we get that on the overhead just so the folks can see it? That'd be lovely.
Like, I don't know. Is this a good angle?
Oh, that works. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was. That works too.
So that just dampens the sound, so it doesn't sound so ringy and punchy. It's supposed to sound like So as opposed to like like a So yeah, just tuning it down. You could play around with it. I don't really feel like there's a science to it necessarily. It's really just trial and error. But yeah, just tuning it low and dampening is essentially what you need.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we have another question coming on.
One of them is kind of going off of that, but the first question, so this is coming from someone who I play at a church. I wouldn't call myself a drummer. I drum to serve because
I need to be there. But one, what is your drumstick of choice? Like your best all-around drumstick? As someone who has no knowledge, I want to know that. And two, in terms of tuning, what would you say is kind of like, I guess, your suggestion for how to tune drums? Do you have any resources of where I could go to find like how to tune drums properly?
Okay. Okay. So
Thanks for that
start
question.
with the
Great
sticks.
question.
Yeah, great question. I use Vic Firth. They're called Extreme 5B. They're a bit longer than your typical drumstick, and they're a bit heavier and thicker. Like the circumference is a bit thicker. Reason why I do that is because it allows me to use less energy because the stick is heavier, you know? But it's not so heavy that it slows me down, right? So that's why I use these. And as far as it pertains to tuning, I like to tune according to like an actual note, like of a piano, so in thirds, so 3 notes apart. So you would hear it. I don't know if the toms are still in tune, but you will hear it. Da, 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 right? So I like to start there as a guide, right? Of course, it's not always going to be perfect, you know, but I use that as kind of like a guide to keep me in track, you know, on the right track. How I kind of achieve that is I usually start with the 12. So, of course, like thirds could be any note, right? Could be any key. You could have thirds in C or D or whatever. But I feel like the 12 and DW has actually, I think they started this, but their 12 is actually to an actual key. So, like, it would say maybe like B flat or like C sharp or whatever. And so you kind of, you start there and then thirds from there on, lower or higher, right? But that's kind of how I start too. I start with my 12. I kind of look for the best sound of the 12. So sometimes it sounds best higher. Sometimes, you know, based on the wood, it would sound better lower. I try to find whatever the sweet spot of that 12-inch tom, and then I just kind of use that as a foundation, and I go up from there or I go down from there. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead, please.
So on the second track, I noticed like you're very locked with the bass. So can you like talk about the importance of like the kick, locking the kick drum with the bass guitar?
Absolutely. I would say it's how I do that is, like I said, you know, it always starts with listening. Listening is always the first step. So, you know, if you have a chance to hear what the bass player is doing before, you know, I just kind of bank on what he's doing and so that we're locked. And the reason why that is because I feel like low frequencies are kind of like categories in a way. So like I like to keep whatever is happening on the low end the same, you know, so it sounds in unison, right? As opposed to if the bass player is doing something and I'm kind of going against what he's doing, it's not going to sound in unison. But they are technically in the same frequency range because they're both low, like the kick and the bass. So I find, you know, what sounds best to the ear is when things are mostly locked. Like low end is locked with low end, mid, and so on and so forth, you know? Like, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Any other questions before we... And Chris, did you have one more or...
I did.
Okay, awesome.
So this is the one. Sorry,
right
there's a
before,
question.
yeah, there's some other... Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is a question just in terms of, I know before you're talking more so about how to kind of, you know, play to find your sound, but what would you say would be some kind of, before you get there, you have to have like basics. What are some basics that you would give? For instance, like we have a few people at our church that we're kind of trying to help. We're not drummers, but we're trying to kind of help them start their journey in that. So what would you kind of recommend to like a young drummer who's just starting out?
Knowledge. So listening, back to that, you know. At the end of the day, I mean, I think the scripture says it, but like there's nothing really new under the sun. So it all starts with whatever, you know, like how far you go or how musical you are is based on how much you have listened to. Like what you have allowed inside is what will basically come out most of the time, right? There are times where like you kind of create your own thing, you know, but for the most part, like what you play is based on what you listen to, right? So I would say definitely for him, listen to the greats, people who are on a lot of records like Calvin Rogers or like Teddy Campbell or, you know, Mike Reed, you know, even some of the younger guys like, you know, Josiah Maddox or Lacey, Devin Harris, a lot of those guys. So, you know, everyone's a music, like in the music realm, like if you're being called, like you're being called because someone has recognized greatness in you, and if multiple people are recognizing that in you, you know, you probably are doing something right. So I would suggest like using that as a starting point to who you should listen to, right? You know, if you want to kind of master that gospel sound, listen to the gospel greats, right? Same thing goes with sports and, you know, like singing and any other profession, right? You've got to start with listening to the best of the best, right? And that would kind of, you know, get you on the right track, I believe.
Incredible. There was a question that
Yes,
came
sir.
online. Sorry, did you have another point on that? Or?
Just kind of piggybacking off of that, like listening is one thing, but I believe that like as a drummer, like I kind of stressed on this earlier, your number one objective, and of course no one's a computer, so we're all gonna like waver off time, especially in the beginning of our drum journey. Like, you know, it's not gonna always be easy to play with a click, but a lot of guys who get called back, you know, they're getting the calls, are number one able to lock in with a click. So I would say starting off, you know, mastering the ability of, you know, playing in time, playing on time.
And
is
is that
essential.
metronome or is that like a track or does it matter? Because I know sometimes it could be like, you know, like maybe like a percussion thing and you're playing to it, maybe not much, a shaker or whatever.
Right.
Or like metronome. For you, does it matter or do you have to practice both?
I would definitely say practice both because, I mean, just let's be real, we're not always using metronome for everything we play too. So what happens when there's no metronome? If you're always practicing to a metronome, then you're reliant on it, right? So I would say, you know, practice both. But I would also stress that maybe practicing with a metronome is a little bit more helpful to kind of get you to lock in with a set time, because most recordings professionally are done to a metronome, right? You're playing to a stem track or, you know, or you're just playing to a metronome in general, right? So the point is you gotta kind of create muscle memory inside. You gotta create muscle memory so that you're able to stay on time. And practicing to a metronome will help you develop that muscle memory. Yeah.
Awesome. Someone asked online for your kick pedal, why did you something the other side of the beater using plastic or foam part? Does plastic or foam make a significant difference? I don't know if you understand that.
I do. I definitely do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just demonstrate it. It does make a difference, and you guys will let me know if you think I'm right or wrong. So this is the plastic side. The plastic side to me has more.
I think we actually have a view of your kick, so that'd be helpful. Yeah. Go ahead.
Excellent. So the plastic side has a little bit more attack, more slap. It sounds a little bit more high in pitch. So I like that because it allows the kick sound to stand out. It's like a little bit more accented, right? As opposed to switching around to the felt side, it would sound a little bit more muted, a little bit more, you know, blending in with the rest of the drum. But because the kick is an essential part of feeling the groove and, you know, staying on time, people need to hear and feel the kick. So I feel like adding or doing something to make the kick stand out and more accentuated is only gonna do good. So I'm gonna demonstrate. So this is how it sounds. You guys heard it, of course, throughout the whole of today. That's the plastic side. And this is the felt side. You guys hear that?
Big difference.
Right. So
yeah.
Yeah, like it's like to each his own. Some people like the felt side a little bit more. No knock against that. I just like the plastic side to answer your question.
Awesome. And what kind of pedal is that?
So this is a DW 3000 pedal.
Okay, got you. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. And any other questions? I know Chris is gonna sort of play his last performance for us. Any other questions before we sort of do that? Awesome. Well, Chris, yeah, tell us about then your last and final performance. I know you've been blessing us and gracing us with your performances, so thank you.
Absolutely. So this last song is really just a count and a click. So we're just counting to 4, and like I said, this is like your one-on-one time with yourself, kind of letting your inner voice come out. So I'm just playing. I actually don't know what I'm gonna play. I'm just gonna play whatever comes to mind.
I got to get my front row seat again. So I want to.
And again, this is just to allow that creativity, that uniqueness that everyone has to come out, to flourish. You're not playing to a song, you're not trying to sound a certain way, you're just letting your inner voice come out.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four.
Amazing. One more time, y'all. Chris Blair. Oh my goodness. Chris, numbers never sounded so good to me, man. That's incredible. Listen, thank you so much just for being here. Thank you for your time. Did anyone else learn something from today? Yeah? Awesome. I'm seeing a lot of hands up and everything else in between. But yeah, we're just so happy to have you here, Chris. And thank you for sharing just so openly and honestly, answering all of our questions. Right before we go, were there any last questions? We're wrapping up. All right, I won't prolong. One thing I am gonna ask from folks, just a bit of feedback because, and I always say this at the end of our events, our programs, y'all. We really want to do more and more of these, and so your feedback, it means the world to us. You wouldn't believe how useful and how helpful it is when you share the type of experience that you're having, and so that it helps us to propel to be able to do more and more of these. Would anyone like to see more and more of these things going on? Awesome. So just really quickly, y'all, what we like to do is it's just a quick little thing we're gonna do just to end out. And anyone know what a rose is? Everyone knows a rose? Yeah, a rose. You know what I mean? Flower on the top, stem, right? Some thorns maybe, right? And everyone follow me? A rose? All right, so think about a rose, y'all. I want y'all to think about this a little bit. The rose, think about what was good today. Like, yo, Chris, like, yo, this was the rose for me, man. Like, yo, this information or this thing that you did or shared or whatever, that was the rose, all right? Everyone following so far? So that was the rose. Then the stem. Yo, stem is about growth. Yo, this really helped me to grow in some way. I learned something. I got something from that. And then on the stem, guess what? There might be a thorn or two. You know what? We had a couple of challenges here or there. This would have been easier. This would have made things a little bit better. We want to hear about those things as well. So everybody follow me? So we got the rose. Yo, what was solid? What worked? We got the stem. Yo, I learned something. This helped me to grow in some way. We got the thorn. Yeah, yo, honestly, this kind of didn't really sit too well. Or, yo, maybe y'all can work on this for next time. Everyone follow me so far? All right, so we got the mic here. We'll just pass it around. If anybody wants to share, again, please, we want to hear from you. And for folks that are online as well, please drop the information in the comments. It really, really helps us. So, yeah, feel free to jump right up, y'all. We want to hear from you for sure. Don't all jump in at once. Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, come on up, bro. We got you.
How you guys doing? For me, it was just when you were talking about spacing out everything, it was kind of giving us an example of how to play with purpose. I think that was the rose for me. I'm younger. I'm newer to drumming as well. So especially like for me, like I tend to maybe do the most at times, but just you saying how sometimes little is enough in a sense. So that's something I see myself working on. But yeah, the rose was just time and place and doing everything with a purpose.
I love that, man. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yo, can you grab the mic and just pass it to the next person? Because I know maybe coming up might be hard. But just right where you are, y'all. Call for the mic. Just talk to us, y'all. Anybody? Talk to us real quick. Yeah. Well, let's see. We want to hear from folks. Thank you.
Yeah, reiterating everything that he said. Totally agree. Less is definitely more. And when there's that ISIL and, there's that moment for the drummer to kind of do their thing, that's where you kind of show off a bit. But for me, just keeping in the pocket. Definitely really appreciate the visual aid. Shout out to the tech team, fellow doing the tech.
Big ups.
Yeah. That was clean.
Holding it down. Our sound guy. Thank you.
Good setup because we actually feel like we're in the booth with Chris, and a wonderful setup, and appreciate seeing the angles from the snare to the tom cymbals, the handwork and the footwork. So yeah, the audio visual is super tight. So big ups on that.
Appreciate that. Thank you you so much. Just pass it around, man. We want to hear from y'all real quick. Yeah, man. Talk to us, y'all. Or y'all can be like, yo, that's all right. We didn't really get none today. That's all right too.
Yeah. Hi, Chris. One thing I want to say is I love your flair. I love the way you touch. I love your second set. I love the discipline. Yeah, so that's it for me. And there was a lot of things that you touched, and I feel like I have to, practice more. And yeah. Thanks a lot. This was very insightful. Yeah.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Last couple ones, and then we'll call it a day. And yo, Chris, you know what I was gonna ask you? you gotta give us a reggae groove to go, man.
Yeah, like a ska.
Yeah, man, you have to just
like a one drop.
You have to give us a little one too. You know what I mean?
Okay. Afro beats.
Anyone else before we go? Yeah, we got a couple. Just something to think about as we're playing.
Absolutely, man.
See, your man's are moving a little shaky stuff. But, yo, man, oh man, yo, the feel. My main takeaway was like the feel. Like, yo, you gotta translate. You gotta be the music. You know, like that. You gotta drop the sauce on the snare. Like, yo, what are you doing with that?
Like, what snare is it?
Yeah, man.
This is aluminum, pearl aluminum snare. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, man. They said what head is on it?
This is Evans HD dry, coated.
Dry head. Okay.
That's what's up. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. And I think we had one more.
First of all, that was amazing, especially as someone who's not a drummer. I still got a lot of information from it, a lot of stuff that I can actually use. So it's super helpful. Yeah, like I don't know what to say exactly. And I'll be that guy. It was an amazing thing, but I have one thorn, which is like not really a thorn.
Yeah,
I think next time I'd love to have like an above shot, so you can really see everything in context.
Yeah.
But other than that, like that's just me splitting hairs.
No, man,
I'll be that.
No, and listen, that's how we get better. Like y'all, seriously, like tell us we want to be better for y'all. All right, mean that. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. We got one at the back. Okay, all good. All right, yo, Chris. I think it's that time, man. Play us out, little reggae thing, man. And we call it
no
a day.
problem. I don't have a reggae song.
Yeah, just go.
I actually thought about doing a reggae song, you know.
Okay.
But I didn't feel like no one would be interested, you know.
Oh, no, man. I want to hear it, bro.
Yeah.
I wanna
Okay,
hear
no
what's
problem.
going on. So much. Thank you so much, Chris, man. We enjoyed having you. Thank you for being a part of this, man. We appreciate you. To everyone in the audience, thank you all for coming online, everywhere, all over. We really appreciate you. We just want to say to everybody, for sure, hit up our page at SoundCheck Youth. So our website, www.soundcheckyouth.com. Find out about more events coming up. We are a nonprofit organization. Get involved, support, become a part of this. We're about a community. In addition, don't forget, y'all, we're going to be having some more of these masterclasses before the month's out. So if you're not on our pages, social media, all that good stuff, definitely hit up at SoundCheck Youth at all platforms and tag us, y'all. I saw phones going out and all that good stuff. We want to see how you experienced today. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Chris, special thanks to you. And y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. We appreciate you, everybody.